there, Crystal Covington here, introducing you to an amazing webinar that I just did with Danielle Norris, the owner of Savenco. What we taught today is all about strategically managing your business so that you make real money. No more playing games with your business, no more struggling to figure out how am I going to make it. We teach you the hard numbers that you need to crunch in order to figure out how to make it in your business and to be successful making the amount of money that you need to make in order to survive, thrive, and transform your life. And Danielle shares some amazing tips on how you can create a mission for your business that will drive your income and create a successful business that is a staple in your community. What's better than having an amazing business that both engages you, gives you money, and benefits your community? So all of those things are jam-packed in this session. I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think after you watch the webinar. And don't forget to check us out at thewomenofdenver.com.
So the focus of this program today, as a marketer, I've had the experience of sitting down with a lot of business owners and different business sizes. And so what I put together today is some things that I feel like people need to know in order to succeed. And it's based off of things that I've seen people struggle with in the past. So this program will include the basic calculations you need to be making to have a financially thriving business, how building a credible and influential brand will help your business grow even faster because it will help you to shorten the sales process, and the impact of a strong personal mission and tips for a mission-driven enterprise is going to come from Danielle. So the first thing I want to talk about is why businesses fail. So one of the things we often hear is this quote that people talk about all the time, that 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. The reason why those businesses are failing is not necessarily that they have a poor product, that they aren't doing business well as far as giving a great service, being great with production. It's not about what they're doing to provide for their customers. It's about how they're running their business and the strategy behind it. The biggest thing that causes business to fail are things like not having a financial plan, not knowing what you need to make in order to run your business, not knowing what it takes to succeed financially in your business, not tracking costs as far as accounting and finance. That's something that I struggled with in the past and one of the reasons why I failed, and not selling. So as a marketing consultant, I was running into a lot of people that would come to me and say, Crystal, I need help with my business. I'd say, okay, well, they say I need social media, and I would give them social media. They say I need some flyers, I give them flyers. And then what I started to realize is they'd say, okay, well, I have this awesome flyer, and no one's buying. And what really was happening is that they didn't realize that they still needed to sell. You can't just pass someone a flyer. You can't just have social media posts. You actually have to ask people to buy your product or service in order to get that sale and bring in the revenue into your business. Now is the fun part. It's called Know Your Numbers. So what I want to work with you all today, because this is a legitimate workshop. It's not like your traditional webinar where they just talk at you. So what I want you all to do, I asked you to bring a pen and paper to the workshop. I want you to actually try to work through these numbers and figure out what you need for your business. And these are really basic. We'll go through it slowly so that you can start preparing the basic concepts you need to have in order to run a successful enterprise. All right, so the first thing I want you to do, and this is just your very baseline of your business, okay? How much money do you need to make in order to survive in your business? Now, I went through this exact same practice this December preparing for the year. And it's a very easy thing for you to do is to figure out the very basic amount of money that you need to make in order for your business to continue. If your primary income is your business, then what you'll need to do is figure out what is the base amount that you need to make in order to survive in life. How much money do you need to make in order to pay your bills and do nothing else? So write that number down on a piece of paper. And then you're going to need to calculate the approximate number of sales you need to make each month to reach that amount of money. So you'll estimate based on the average price of your product. So let's say your product or service is $50 usually. You know, you might have a range of $25 to $100, but the average of what people spend on your business is $50 each. So you would decide how much money you need to make that year. So let's say you need to make $15,000, then you'll divide the average number of sales by that $15,000 in order to get your average, in order to estimate the number of sales that you need to make. The next thing you're going to want to calculate is how much money you need to make in order to thrive in your business. So thriving is you've paid your bills and now you have a little bit of extra money to do other things with. Not a lot, but just enough to feel like you're doing a little bit more than just making it. Okay, and you're going to do the exact same thing that you did for your survival income. So how much money would be thriving for you? And I'm going to give you a workbook after this so you can sit down and work on it after this. But I just want to present all of these things to you so that you understand how to go through that workbook. And then last, you're going to calculate what you need to make in order to transform. So what is the amount of money that you could make in order to transform, completely change your life? Is that $50,000? Is that $100,000? Be realistic about what you really need in order to call it a transformational business. So for some of you, it might be $70,000. If you could make $70,000, that would transform your life. You could quit your job. You could have enough income to pay your bills, do additional things with your money and reinvest in your business, and go on a trip every now and then. So write down whatever that amount of money is. And here's an example. So this example, a person named Sherry, she sells marketing packages. So the average price of Sherry's product as a marketing consultant is $600. Sherry may have $200 packages, she may have $1,000 packages, but when she looks at the average of what people spend on her, it's $600 each time she makes a sale. Now, in order to survive in her life, Sherry needs to make $15,000 a year. And for her, that's 25 sales per year, or 2 sales per month. To thrive, Sherry needs $35,000 a year. So that means she's paying her bills and she's got some extra to reinvest in her business and do a few other things. But she's not blowing it out of the water. And that's 59 sales for her at $600 each. And that's 5 sales per month. For her to transform her life, quit her job, have everything she needs, that's $55,000 for her. So at $600 per sale, she needs to make 91 sales the whole year and 8 sales every month during the year. And this is a practice that I go through every year when I do my planning. It's really important to understand when you're making these plans, how you'll feel if you reach each goal. So if surviving in your business makes you feel bad, you need to write that down. So for me, when I wrote down the amount of money for surviving, thriving, and transforming in my life this year, I wrote down that surviving in my business would make me feel like a failure. I would feel like I want to quit, and I might very well start the process of selling my business. If I find that I'm thriving in my business this year, I will feel safe, I will feel confirmation that what I'm doing is right, and I will feel that I want to continue on. I'll be hopeful for the future. And then finally, if I reach my transforming goal, I'll feel free, confident, successful. I'll feel like a boss. So those are the things that I put in for myself. And because of the way that I felt with survival would make me feel like I want to quit, then I knew that I couldn't keep it there. So survival for me was just being flat where I was. And so this month I've already surpassed the surviving goal because I knew that if I only survived, I would want to quit my business. And I don't want to quit my business. So I've already reached the goal of surpassing that, and now I'm walking into thriving territory. So how do you want to feel about your business this year? That's how you're going to decide which financial plan you're going to go with. Are you going to try to survive this year? Are you going to pursue thriving and your thriving income this year? Or are you going to pursue a transformational income that's going to give you everything you need to both pay your bills, reinvest in your business, and reach all your goals with additional income to play around with? I told you guys this is going to be MBA stuff. So this is definitely, these are things that you learn in business school. These are things that you have to work on in order to be a successful business owner. So definitely something that you'll want to work on and sit down and do these calculations at home. And I hope that you're not overwhelmed by the concept, but I want to make sure that I'm presenting this to you. And the next pieces will be a lot easier. So the mission-driven business is going to be very easy to comprehend and understand. And understanding how to build your credibility is super simple marketing and not and definitely something you can put your notebook away for. So the next piece is understanding your sales rate. One of the things that I saw that a lot of the people that I was marketing for were not doing is they didn't understand how many people they needed to reach to get a sale. So what I would ask them as far as their marketing piece is, okay, well, we're marketing here. How many people do you need to reach? No. It's important for you to know how many people you usually have to ask to buy your product to get someone to buy your product. So that is not just how many people you tell about your product. It's not how many people you present a flyer to. This is how many people have you actually asked to get to buy your product or your service versus how many people say yes. And that's going to be your sales rate. So you're going to take that number and you're going to use that to create your strategic goals. Okay? So if your goal is to make 15 sales, so you need, in order to reach your yearly income, you found out you need to make 15 sales. And your average sale, and we're doing it really simple and easy, so your average sale is $1. So you need to make 15 sales of $1 this month so that you make $15 in income. So for reaching one sale, you need to reach 5 people to get one sale. So that means in that month, you need to ask 75 people to buy. So to reach your sales goal of $15 at a rate of 5 people for one sale, you need to ask 75 people to buy. And that's a really important thing to understand. A lot of people think that, okay, well, I need 5 sales this month, so I need to find 5 people to ask. But it doesn't always work that way. Just because it's just a numbers game. It's never personal whether or not people buy from you, and you can increase this rate. You can make this a lot easier for yourself with the credibility piece that we'll talk about, with the mission-driven business that Savenco will be presenting. You can use different avenues to lower the number of people that you need to reach or ask for a sale in order to get that sale. And that'll make it a lot easier. So you'll find yourself writing down a smaller number of people that you need to reach each month to make your sales goals. So next up, we're going to talk about the benefits of social enterprise. And this is going to be presented by Danielle Norris of Savenco. I'm going to pull up her presentation. All right, so you should see your slides up now.
Hello, everybody. So we're going to talk a little bit about social enterprise or mission-driven business, and then also throw in a little bit of that business planning and great practices that Crystal began with. So again, I'm the CEO of a company called Savenco, And we help business leaders and companies grow and scale their business and their direct impact in making the world a better place. Go ahead and go to the next slide. This is me again. Please follow me on Twitter and email me if you have any questions. I love to chat and get more information about what everyone else is doing. A little bit on my educational background. I have my undergrad is in international business, and I have a MBA in entrepreneurship. I also have certifications in real estate, world trade, women's and ethnic studies, and political policy. So I'm very well versed, and this is a very well-rounded concept for a CEO, but don't feel that you need to go that strong. I'm also an academic addict, is what I call myself. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So we're going to just piggyback off of Crystal and business planning. And within the first few years of your business, especially the first 18 months to 2 years, it's a little chaotic. And during that time, the biggest things to remember is you're going to be doing a ton of research and have a tiny plan, because that plan is going to change. But like this picture says, don't let this be you. And I love this picture because this talks about really understanding what the end in mind means. And when you start a business, you have to understand what your end goal is, not only in your business, but also what your end goal is in life, to make sure you're going in the right direction. Because you'll start building and you'll get to a point where you're just like they are, asking where, we should have built something else. Go ahead and go on to the next slide. So why is this important for social enterprise? Well, with a social enterprise or a mission-driven business, and for really a company that if you have plans to scale or grow fairly large, you have to have a very strong foundation and plan. And one of the items, as Crystal mentioned, is having your budget and understanding what your run rate is, and what and within that budget, you need to make sure you're setting aside specific sets of funds for consulting, education, and self-awareness. What I've seen as women is they'll definitely go heavy on the education and self-awareness, but as many women like to do, we love to do everything on our own, and we don't actually put money aside for consultants that specialize. That is so important in those first few years, and it's a big differentiator between staying small and actually being able to scale, and then of course being successful. You really have to understand that you cannot do it alone, and you have to have a working business plan. Now, this is not the full 30-page business plan that you may be getting sold on. This is a small 2-page business plan that is going to change, because your product, your services, and how you sell it will change, no doubt about it, as you get information and research from your target market. So in that, make sure your working business plan has a long-term vision and mission, along with your 12-month goals broken down into 3-month to-do lists and 1-month to-do lists to achieve those goals. So why is this important? And what's the next big step? And that is understanding your big why, or understanding your purpose and your mission. So in a purpose or a mission-driven business, you will need to really understand and be self-aware of what is important and what your overall purpose is, so that you can really connect that to the mission of the business. So we're talking a lot about mission-driven and purpose-driven business and what that really is. And the next slide, Crystal, will talk a little bit about that. So a social enterprise or a mission-driven business is a business that was created with a revenue-generating leg, but is there to solve social and environmental injustices. And those injustices are definitely related to usually a personal purpose or big why that's happened or you've experienced in your life, where you've gone and you said, I want to go conquer the world now, and I want to do it through this mission-driven business. The positive about a mission-driven business or a social enterprise is that it is a self-sustaining entity where on a nonprofit side, you're asking for donations or grant money. This allows you to be self-sustaining within the core of your business. And it also allows you to create unique and innovative ways to solve the biggest challenges in the world. And by solving these large challenges, those are really good sellable items because those are need items versus want items. So people need these services, need these solutions, and then they will have to pay for them. And that really creates a long-term strategy. And then also they allow you to scale. And scalability and growth are two separate items. When we talk about scalability, we're really talking about expanding upward, expanding nationally, internationally, really scaling the business. Growth is just a way of saying that you're growing your revenues, and you're not growing with scalability, you're growing additional revenue streams and really leveraging your business. So that overall is what a social enterprise is, or if you hear purpose-driven business, mission-driven business, conscious business, all those are different terms for a social enterprise. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So within a social enterprise or a mission-driven business, it's even more important to have a strong foundation and strategy, because you are solving problems and you need to know how to do that, but you also really have to have yourself together. It's not like a widget where you can make a widget and then just sell it in a chaotic form and then start building the foundation. You really have to start with that foundation. And each one of these categories that you need to understand are really things that you need to be diving into, having a plan, and researching and researching and researching, because you have to understand who your market is, what you're doing, and where you're going. So when you look at these 8 categories, this is a framework that we use within our company. But within this framework, each one of these categories, understanding your purpose and creating the culture of what your company looks like, that's important even for the sole entrepreneur who is going in. You have to really define what your culture is going to be, the culture of your clients coming in, how you want the world to view you and your business. You have to really have your governance together. That's your risk mitigation, your policies and procedures, your systems and processes. You have to understand everything there is to know about your client, from where they're going to be eating, how much they spend, where they live, how they think and feel, because that's going to make you be able to sell to them. You have to understand the value that your service is bringing to the community. With a mission-driven business, it's easy because that your whole purpose of your business is to bring value or to solve some issue. So it brings a little bit of an easier time in doing that, as well as an easier way to brand. But you still have to have your aligned branding and make sure you're showing up to the world in a systemized, clear way. In the mission-driven business, social enterprise is an extra avenue where you're understanding the impact that you're creating in the world, and you're able to showcase that impact and set goals around that impact. And then, of course, can you scale? Are you even a scalable company? How are you hiring, and how are you training? So those are all categories that you're going to want to make sure you're centering on. And this is for any business as well, minus the social enterprise if you're just a standard for-profit business. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So since I have a shorter amount of time, I'm going to leave you with a few main tidbits. To be successful, to get past that 50% mark for small businesses, and then the 90% of businesses that fail within the startup. In startup, I usually say around up to 18 months to 2 years is usually when you hang out in startup mode, or when you break even and stay consistently, several months is a good lead over that break even. So to be able to do that, Two main things: you need to be focused, and that's going to happen with a plan, a well-written plan and a long-term strategy. And you have to be prepared to really have grit. You, just like it was mentioned, you have to ask 75 people to get 15 sales. And that's just not talking to people. That's like asking, say, are you going to buy my service? And you have to be willing to understand that there's going to be people that have to say no. Not because your service is bad necessarily, just maybe they just don't need it now, they don't have the money for it, or they're not your ideal client. And you'll understand all that through understanding your market. As business owners, we tend to sell things that we want to sell, our trade. I mean, it's something we love or we're passionate about. But the market does not buy based on what we love. They buy based on what they love, what they want. And you really have to take a long-term view or a bigger view of really what the community wants. So just to leave you with a few extra things, my main things for a thriving entrepreneur in general, and this is for everybody, is to know yourself and your purpose in life. Really have a badass network and community. You need to know people. I like to give my clients or say to my clients, you need to become popular now, just like you're in high school. You need to go hang out with the popular kids and talk to the popular kids. And then really loving to learn, love to research and read. And you really need to love to do that for fun, because you're going to be doing a lot of that in your first 5 years of business. Make sure you're proactive, not reactive. So all this planning is preparing yourself for when something does happen. Reactive is when you are so busy and you're like, oh my God, I have to hire a person today. And what happens is you're in desperate mode and you end up hiring the wrong person, and then you end up having to fire, which everyone hates to do. So be proactive in that you know if you're going to be hiring or not, if you plan on growing, if you plan on staying a sole entrepreneur for the rest of your business or a small business, and really reflect on that. And then make sure that you have some stamina and you're stubborn. Well, I call it stubbornness because I'm just stubborn, and other people call it stamina. But you need to really have that grit. And then make sure you have just one minimal viable product. You need to make sure you can sell that one minimum viable product. And before you even start adding other items on there, you have to sell that one. And then make sure that you know how to delegate and love systems. You have to create systems to be able to delegate. And with women, it's hard for us to delegate, especially for me. I have a very hard time. So role play delegation, that's what I like to do. I go with others and role play it and get comfortable in delegating. So I'm going to send out these there's a startup checklist and a list of important questions you need to ask yourself. And then don't hesitate to schedule a 15-minute business review if you're wanting to go on the business route. Sovenco does offer a free business review to really find out where you're at in your company and what that looks like in becoming a mission-driven. So take advantage of those free resources when you're going. The last thing is I'm going to do a little pitch. That's the next slide, Crystal. If you are not aware of where you're coming at your business when it comes to your higher purpose and where it falls within your business, Sovenco is having a workshop next week. So take advantage of that if you're free on the 13th, and we would love to support you on that. That's all I have for today. Thank you for allowing me to speak. It's all you, Crystal.
Thanks for sharing that. It is definitely valuable to know the mission of your business, have that to present to your customers, because people care about what they're supporting. They care that what you do matters in their community, and it matters to them. It's definitely valuable to have that mission-driven piece taken care of. So the next piece that I want to talk to you about is your credibility. So credibility is like your marketing. It's your resume, your branding, anything that represents your company and tells people that you are the one that they should choose in order to take care of the need that they're serving. So when people buy from you, it's to solve a problem, to meet a need, even if it's jewelry. They have a need, they want some jewelry, they want to feel beautiful, they want to look great, and that jewelry solves that problem. So you want to be the credible expert at solving that problem for them. When people know that you are the expert and they trust you as a thought leader, it makes it so much easier to get the sale. Okay, so you can ask 75 people to get a sale, and what if you can get almost all of those 75 people because they already know who you are, they've been watching you, and they already have been thinking about buying your product because they've seen you everywhere. This is what I teach. I actually have a book. I didn't put anything in the presentation about it, but I just realized I should share with you. I have a book called The 4 Keys to Influence that shares a lot of this stuff and how to kind of build yourself as the credible expert through your personal body language, the way you present yourself, the way that you show up as an authority in your field, and by getting in front of your customers, your audience, on a regular basis. The more you're in front of them, the more they will remember you and think of you when they're ready to solve that problem that you solved. So my case study is Miss Marie Forleo. Most ladies that I talk to that are in business know who she is. She's just a very major figure in when it comes to women in business. And she's not even, she doesn't specifically target women, but she very much attracts a lot of women to her content. So what Marie Forleo does, if you're not familiar, she has a weekly YouTube Q&A show that she does. So she's creating content all the time. She puts that on a blog. She has been interviewed on various shows, especially by bigwigs like Oprah and Tony Robbins. They are huge. She has lots of things online. If you look up Marie Forleo, you'll find blogs, videos, all kinds of coverage about her and what she does. And people go ahead and seek her out because they've seen so much from her. She has a great deal of clout built. So Marie's product is called B-School, and I'm pretty sure it's her only product. She may have other smaller things that she does, but the main thing, if you go to marieforleo.com, you're going to find B-School. And she only opens it up a few times a year. I think she opens it up once a quarter like a college. And she does one big launch where she invites people with the ask. She asks people to buy B-School and join in. It's an online program where you can learn basically everything you need to know for business. And people are easily and quickly buying from her. I know several women who have bought her course because of the fact that they've already been watching her. They've seen from her that she knows what she's talking about. She is a thought leader, and she has built the credibility that attracts them to go ahead and make that purchase. If it's right for them at the moment, they will buy. One of the things that often stops people is not having that credibility. So if you haven't built that up yet for your customers, even if they might need the product at the moment, they're not sure about you. So they might tell you no, and that no really means I'm not comfortable with you yet. I don't trust you yet. And you want to get over that hump and that barrier. So our Women of Denver program is something that I've created to help women to get over that barrier. And this program can help you. Everybody on this call should be a business owner, but even if you are on this call because you want to start a business, all of this can help you as well. And the program is also great for people who want to become thought leaders in their corporate career as well. Women of Denver is built to help women build their credibility. So the goal of that is to reach your financial goals. And here's how we do that as soon as the slide switches. So one of the things we do is we give you the forum to produce and share workshops. So we have a really great, easy workshop program that you can replicate. And so it teaches you how to create, you can create icebreakers. It teaches you how to build your activities. And I give a little bit of extra coaching to help people to figure out how to create a great program for themselves. We have day workshops and evening discussions and lots of other opportunities. Danielle is actually a member of Women of Denver, and we have lots of opportunities that we build to give you the chance to showcase your expertise. So this is all built into the program, is teaching those workshops. And then when people teach workshops, we do a video We get video clips of you teaching, video clips of people responding and how awesome you did. And then we write a blog about it to showcase what you did. So this is something that you can share on your resume when you're sharing with clients. You can create a speaker resume and start sharing to people that you have had experience speaking and facilitating, which gets you more opportunities to speak and facilitate. It's something that you can showcase to your clients that says, hey, I am an expert, and people respect that. When you have been written about and showcased by an organization that's not your own, it gives you credibility. Just having another name backing up and saying, hey, she did this and she was awesome. We also have a culture within our group that helps women to get testimonials. So after you teach a workshop, women will also often go and they'll either email you or they'll add it to the Meetup site that we use. They'll just add little comments that say, you did an amazing job. I love how much information you shared. Here's one right up here on the slide that says, Helene was great and gave really valuable information. I'm looking forward to defining and implementing my social strategy further. And that was a testimonial that one of our members gave on the Meetup site. And those are really beneficial. You can put those on your website. You can share them on social media. You can use them in your brochures and branding, everything that you need in order to show your customers that they can trust you and that they should buy from you. We have an interview show that airs on television here in Denver. It's on Comcast Channel 57. We have an episode coming on tonight at 6 if you want to catch us. You can be interviewed on our show. As a member, you have the ability to apply to be an interviewee. And what this does for you is max credibility. I've had somebody, we've had 2 filmings so far. The first filming, we had 4 people that were filmed for episodes. And one of the first interviewees came to me the other day and said, Crystal, I just got an amazing opportunity because someone found me through the show. So someone watched the show. She said that they contacted her because we give website links and we give information of where to find you. And that person has now hired her for a gig because she was seen on this show and she was viewed as being credible. And she shared some really amazing information about leadership. And this is something that we can do for you through your ability to be in this very great exposure generating opportunity. And our community is just awesome. I mean, the main #1 reason you need to be here is because this is a community of women supporting each other, giving each other recommendations, referrals, testimonials, and just generally uplifting each other to help each other to succeed. We all are here because we want to build something. We want to make a greater impact in the world. We want to make more money in our lives. We want to have stronger, just amazing careers. And this group of women is a great place to get all of that, to help each other, support each other to get all of that. Everybody's ambitious, everybody's collaborative, everybody's supportive, and being around a lot of people like that is what helps you to get the opportunities that you need in order to build that business up. Okay, and there's a lot of training that we have available, a lot of opportunities like this webinar and like other opportunities that we'll have that will help to teach you, because even networking and collaborating, that's a skill. So we'll be doing a lot to teach you how to take advantage of those opportunities, how to build collaborative partnerships, how to build relationships that lead to easier sales, more sales for yourself. So I want to leave you with this, okay? Starting a business is the bravest thing that you can possibly do. You, in the fact that you have already done this, you are amazing. You are one of a very small group of people that are brave enough to go off on their own. A job is amazing. A career in a corporate world is amazing. And you have a lot of reach, but starting a business is special. And it's something that only you can do because you put your heart and soul in it. You put a little bit of who you are and your value into it, which is very, very, very valuable. So I want to commend you on being a business owner. I want to let you know that I'm going to be sending out a workbook that will help you to go back and work on some of those numbers, because the numbers are very, very important. It's the reason that I failed at my very first business. Like I said, I made a lot of money, in that first business, but I knew nothing about money. I knew nothing about revenue. I knew nothing about, I had no goals for how much I was trying to make, and I had no idea how easily it could all slip through my fingers. So I want you to take that money piece seriously and really understand what it takes to make enough sales to keep your business flourishing and growing, thriving, and transforming your life. So thank you so much for all of you for being here. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing that valuable information. And look for an email coming soon this afternoon that will give you what you need in order to continue on this journey for yourself. I hope you have a very amazing day, and I hope to see you at Women of Denver. Bye, ladies.